Guys, now we're gonna complete section 33.3 integumentary system. I told you in the previous lesson that the skin is one of the most important parts of the integumentary system. But is the skin made of only one layer or different layers? The skin is made up of three main layers. What are those three main layers? The first layer is the epidermis, then derms, then this fatty layer. Let's talk about the outer layer of the skin, which is called epidermis. So the outer layer of the skin is called epidermis. So the epidermis provides the first layer of protection. The first protection, anything that comes from outside will face the epidermis. So this is the first layer for protection. After that, the surface of the epidermis consists mainly of dead cells. The outer surface consists mostly of dead cells that continually flake out. Here, this dark color composed mostly of dead cells. What does this epidermis contain more? This epidermis also contains pores. As I told you in the previous lessons, those pores are important for helping the sweat and oil and other substances to leave the body. Also, cells in the epidermis produce keratin and melanin. I told you part of the integumentary system, some proteins, and those proteins have many important function in protection. The keratin is a tough, waterproof protein, makes cells waterproof and tough feeling to protect the epidermis by giving the epidermis thickness and also waterproof properties. Also, the epidermis has melanocytes. Melanocytes are cells that can produce melanin. This melanin is a very important protein, very important pigment that gives the skin the dark color to absorb the ultraviolet rays to protect the skin. That's why if the skin is exposed more to the sunlight, what will happen? The skin tans. The skin tans due to more secretion of melanin by melanocytes. It's one way for the body for protecting the skin from harmful rays. Let's talk about the dermis. The dermis is the second layer after epidermis. Here is the epidermis. After that, the dermis. Starting, look here, the epidermis. What are the different parts in epidermis? Hair follicle and hair comes out. Oil glands. There are some pain receptors beside the hair follicles. Some pressure receptors. Sweat glands. Blood vessels. So the dermis is a very vital part, important part in the skin that should be protected and that should be in the middle. Let's talk about the function of each part in the dermis. Sweat glands, as I told you, for secretion of sweat, and sweat has a function in getting rid of extra salts, urea, plus maintaining the body temperature stable. Also oil glands, those oil glands for secretion of acidic oils to stop the growth of fungi and bacteria. Pressure receptors are mechanoreceptors to detect the pressure. Hair follicles for production of hair, and beside each hair follicle there is a pain receptor. That's why pulling out of any of the hairs will lead to pain. Sweat glands for secretion of sweat. And also there are sebaceous glands to produce some oils to lubricate the skin. Also, the derms contain some cells to produce elastin and collagen. What the function of elastin? Elastin, from its name, to increase the elasticity or flexibility of the skin. What the function of collagen? To give the skin its shape. That's why shrinkage or clumping of collagen after aging will cause change in the shape of the skin. That's why the anti-aging products, they contain collagen. Anti-aging products contain collagen. Finally, beneath the derms and epiderms, this layer of subcutaneous fats. What do you think the function of subcutaneous fats? Here is it. As you see, the subcutaneous fats to protect the blood vessels, important large blood vessels and neurons. Such a way, we finished talking about integumentary system. Thank you for